Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Wynn,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Hey, today, guys and gals, we're back on our endless summer in Florida, and we've brought back Rafael Amaro from the Dubuc team at Click and Close Mortgage. Rafael, brother, great to see you again. And who did you bring along with you this time?
Well, this time I have invited one of the racing stars in the South Florida market, Michelle Leon. She has so much to offer, and people's going to start hearing a lot more of her pretty soon. She's changing the market.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, Michelle. And I got to tell you, super excited to have you here. I had a great opportunity to catch up with you when we were there in Miami. And, one thing that we know about you that the audience may not is you were born to this business. You've been in real estate almost your entire life. And let's talk about that a little bit. So are you from Miami originally?
Yes. Hi, Devin. Welcome. Thank you, everybody. Yes, I was born and raised in Miami. And just like you said, I have, always been in the real estate industry.
Well, let's explore that a little bit. So, again, I've got some insider secrets, but how does that happen? How do you get born in the industry?
Well, Devin, my dad is a contractor, so I always saw him, buying, selling, flipping, just taking things at all different levels. So, as I grew up, I was, wanting to explore, as I said, okay, how do I get into this? So, when I turned 21, I decided, okay, I'm going to try giving what I've seen all my life a shot. So I, bought my first property. It was just, land. And I didn't buy just one. I actually ended up with 28 of them. And I held on to them for a little while. And when I saw the market say, okay, this is the time to sell, because I've always been taught when you can double your money, it's time to sell. You don't always get to that triple point, but if you can double it, it's time to pull out. So I went ahead and said, okay, let's give this a shot. So, I sold all 28, and that's where the money began for me to be able to buy things and sell them. And, it like anything in life, it takes money to make money. So
at 21, you bought more properties than you were years age, right? You were 21, you bought 28 properties, all land from what I understood. Correct. And you waited until that key moment where you said, hey, I can double my money or at least double my money. And then you cashed out. And then I'm going to assume now we use that to fund project number 2. Is that right?
Yes, it all started from there. I funded 2 and then went from 3, and I'm at 10 at the moment.
And hey, Michelle, so there's other people out there that says she's 21, her parents were in real estate. They probably helped her out. Did your parents help you out?
No, they didn't.
Let's talk about that a little bit. How did a 21-year-old have the money and the resources to go out and buy 28 properties?
Well, I bought them when the market was low. I was buying these properties, under $2,000-$3,000. And then a few years later, I actually sold them for about 28,000. So I more than tripled my money. But, I didn't do, my investment wasn't, thousands of dollars. It was a couple thousand on each lot. So, that's how I did it.
It's so smart. And then you're now turning that into, are we still buying land, or did we transition that into buying, condos or single family homes? What did we do with the success from the first campaign that you put together?
Yeah, no, after I sold those lots, then I said, okay, it's time to make my money work for me. Because honestly, the land wasn't really producing anything. It was just paying taxes and keeping up with it. But it wasn't producing passive income of any sort. So I did sell the land and started, purchasing property, homes and condos, and, making the money work for me.
Well, that's awesome. And that's the one thing, you were in the industry just because you were born, with the background. You saw how purchasing property could create financial wealth. You said, hey, I'm going to do this for myself. And then, I remember, when you and I were talking before, you said, man, you know what? I can do this for myself, but I can also help other people achieve their dreams as well. And that's where you kind of transitioned over into the business on the realtor side and started teaching people some of the tricks of the trade, right? So to speak.
Yep, that's correct. I mean, I had people come to me and say, hey, how have you been able to be so successful? How have you been able to, climb up that ladder so quickly? So yeah, my knowledge at that point was very powerful to people, and they wanted to reach out to me to say, hey, how do you do it? So, I sold a couple homes and helped a whole bunch of people get to, the level that I was, and then started saying, I really should put my skills and get paid for what I do.
Funny how that works, right? No, you're right though. You helped some folks out and gave them that advice for free, and then realized, you know what, I could do this for a living. This is
Correct.
something, and it's something you're already passionate about. You already love doing it. You started at a young age, and you said, man, there's something to this, and I can help others. And now that's what you're doing. And you still have your investments in the background.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, we'd say that your hobby turned into your career, and your career funds your hobby, which funds your life, right?
That is 100% true.
A lot of success in real estate, though. Let's talk about that, because some people may go, well, why would you do that? How do I know what property to buy? Am I putting myself in a position to where, I'm potentially going to lose the assets that I'm putting into these properties that I'm purchasing? Let's explore that a little bit. We know a lot about real estate. We know what it does, but not everybody does. Some people just listen to it and they go, man, why would I buy these properties? What does that do for me? How does that work, right? How do you make money in real estate?
Okay, well, I'm a strong believer that you never lose money in real estate. What you buy today always goes up, with every passing year. I also think that when you purchase, you got to purchase in a good location. Location is everything. So there's, key factors that help you determine where is it best to invest your money.
Yeah. Well, and we'll talk about that a little bit, because you said, hey, I'm a firm believer in you never lose in real estate. And I don't think you're the only firm believer in that. If you watch statistics, I think anybody would be a firm believer. And we talk about this statistic a lot on the show. And you may or may not know this, but in the last 80 years, did you know there's only been 7 markets where real estate is depreciated?
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 decades. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's 73 years where real estate has won, 7 where it has not. The average appreciation in America is about 5.5% to 6%. So that means that year over year, you're watching your value of your money just compound and go up. And you've got such a small percentage of opportunity for it to fail. If you look at the math on that, you've got a 7% chance that it's not going to do well, and about a 93% chance that you're actually going to win with real estate, right?
That's correct. Yeah, you hold off long enough and it corrects itself. And, again, it's timing the market on when to buy, when to sell,
That's it.
Just like your stocks.
I want to go back to those 28 properties that you, did Dad help you find it? You allocated it yourself?
No, I allocated it myself. It was one of those things that I felt I got to do this because I've watched it be done, and I can do this the same way.
Was it was those properties residential or commercial?
No, it's just where there were just empty lots. Correct.
There was just empty lots.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I can tell you this. I'm sure your parents are super proud of you to have a 21-year-old achieve something that they watched her parents do. That's amazing.
Yeah. It took me a little bit of. It took me some time. It wasn't like I, acquired them all, that same year. Every passing year, I kept on adding to, my real estate portfolio.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So how do you do that? Did you fund it all with cash? Did you use financing? How did you acquire the 28 properties?
A little bit of both. With the land, I obviously saved and kept buying as I flipped and started buying bigger property. Then, I would, pull out credit lines, do what I had to do to get to the point to be able to purchase it.
Makes perfect sense. So let's say that I'm a new new to the market, and I want to go out and I want to buy a property. And let's say in this case, I don't even intend to buy for myself, right? I want to buy something as an investment. What should I expect there? What does that journey look like? How much money do I need to have to be able to do that? Do I need to have good credit? Do I have to know how to manage the property? How does that work?
Well, it all depends. I mean, Rafael could probably answer that. As far as the mortgage and, the numbers, I just kind of, concentrate more on, the real estate aspect of it,
Yeah. Yeah, makes perfect sense. So, Raphael, let's run down that, right? So, I want to buy a investment property. I'm not looking at putting cash, or I'm sorry, I'm not looking at buying it for my own personal home, right? How does that work? Do I have to have owned a home before to buy an investment property?
Well, usually you have to own a home before you can buy an investment property. That's most of the programs out there. Okay, you can buy using your income from your job. You can use it for your income from your business. There's also now other programs that they call non-traditional lending, such as bank statement loans or non-QM, that you can go out and use the bank statement of your company, okay, and use those as an income to be able to qualify to buy. But it's always, you have to have, most of the time, not to be generalist, most of the time you have to have at least own one property in order for you to be able to qualify. But the key to the success, sometimes, I mean, the finance is important, especially if you don't have all the money. But the key to the success is to work with a real estate agent that is not only knowledgeable, also passionate about it, to be able to help you identify what is the right property for the investment. Because one thing is you need a roof to live, or you need a roof for your family. And another thing is you need a property that will give you that equity appreciation that you're looking for to put your money to work. And in that is when the real estate agent experience, it is important. And if I'm going to invest, I want to invest with someone that are already doing it. I don't want to tell them, listen, find me a property. No, I want that specific real estate agent like Michelle to have the experience, but not only experience working with me and other investors who have the experience, because she have done it multiple times themselves.
That's right.
That's what is key.
And that's so what I generated.
It's a perfect
combination.
It's the perfect combination.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the input I would always get. Like, can you help me? I want to do exactly what you're doing. So I always had people reaching out, asking me for my help, asking me for my expertise. And because I've walked it and I've done it myself, I absolutely know exactly what I'm doing with my eyes closed.
Hey guys, it's Devin
and David.
We're your real estate success partners. Hey, if you're enjoying these podcasts and want us to keep bringing back this content, we truly appreciate you following us. But if you could go below and subscribe or make some comments, we'd truly appreciate it. And we'll keep bringing back great content in 2024.
What a beautiful thing that you're getting paid to share your experience with somebody else. I mean, what a beautiful way of making money by helping others. You know what I mean?
Right. No, and I genuinely love it. I have a soft spot for helping people.
Yeah, I think that's important. That's one thing that we've come across. Dave and I do a lot of these interviews, and, at the end of the day, the people that are typically having the most success are the ones that are doing it because they're passionate about it. Right.
Right.
It's not just about the wealth. It's not just about making the financial success. The financial success comes and goes. But what we found is that if you leave with your heart, you leave with the passion, right, of serving others, the money always follows. It comes right behind it, right?
That is true.
And we're firm believers that you got to love what you do. You have to love what you do every single day, because if you don't, you're not going to have the passion behind what you're out there doing, and that shows, right? Your consumers are going to feel that. But you were born in the industry, so you're very passionate about what you do. It's part of what made you who you were, right? You were kind of cut from that cloth, and now you're getting an opportunity to get out there and share those experiences with others. So, what all markets are you covering these days? Or so we know Miami's a broad area, right? It's not just one city. There's a lot of market base out there. Talk about that. What area do you serve?
I mean, I go all the way from down to Homestead, all the way up north to Boca Raton, the Palm Beach area. I mean, I will help anybody anywhere in between, Miami-Dade and Broward County.
Yeah. Yeah. So all down there in that southern region, all
South Florida.
that we call paradise, right? Or Raphael calls it South America. But, just a beautiful part of this country. And, man, there's so many great places, to represent. So, what do you typically find your consumers looking for? What kind of properties are you normally selling? Are you still back to raw land, or are you now doing a lot of,
single family
types
single
family?
I'm doing a lot of single family homes. I service a lot of Miami Lakes because it is where I live personally, so I know the market very well. But again, the market is the same whether it's up down south or up north. So yeah.
And so let's just talk about this because let's say I'm a new prospective buyer and I'm looking at purchasing a home. What price ranges does South Florida have to offer right now? I mean, I know it's known for that money, right? But is that all that we've got out there? Is everything multi-million-dollar homes?
No, you have 500 all the way up to million. I've sold $2 million homes this month. But again, I also list condos and regular home, mid to average homes. It just all depends, what you can afford.
Yeah. Selling paradise, right?
Definitely comes with a price point too. Heavy price sometimes.
I want to add something. Michelle is not that traditional agent that only focus on waiting for the business to come to her. She actually go up there. She farms, she works, she finds listings, she talks to people. And even with these, I would say, changes on the market in regards to the NARs, she has been unstoppable, okay? She goes up there, do the listing presentation, get the listing, and the most important, she works the area. And after getting one listing done, sold, she keep working the same area. She can work in the same farm. And she's still getting results. So it's not that the business have changed. What have changed is people don't do the job. She's a prime example that the business is there.
Like I sold 3 houses on the same block last month. All within
success.
All within walking distance. Just like Raphael was saying, I go, I meet the people, I door knock, I introduce myself and, just form a connection, with the people.
Yeah. What we talk about, Michelle, and I think this is common, when you're talking to top tier agents like yourself, is it's about the activity, right?
Right.
It's easy to find reasons why you can't have success, right? It's hard to find success. But if you're doing the right activity, you're going to find it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And you just said it. I sold 3 houses on the same block. Why? Because I had the courage to step out and do some door knocking, And you might have had some people that said, "Hey, don't ever knock on my door again." And you probably
Miami
did,
people
right?
are friendly. No, Miami people are actually friendly.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So, sometimes that's the hard thing, right? Is to get outside of your comfort zone and say, "Man, I'm gonna muster up the courage to go knock on that door over there and talk about." So, how's that conversation go, right? So you knock on the door and you just say, "Hey, I'm Michelle. Do you want to sell your house?"
No, I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes yes, but I kind of introduce myself and let them know, who I am, and I'm again in my area. I tend to, volunteer on HOA boards, and I do a lot of extracurricular activities. So, my face is known out there.
Yeah. So you're not just some crazy lady walking around knocking on doors. You're actually involved in the community. People know exactly who you are. So when you knock on the door, they're like, "It's Michelle. She stopped by."
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's again, that goes back to activity, because last time I looked, you just said, "Hey, I'm on the board. People know who I am." Well, you didn't just get on the board because, you were sitting around saying, "Man, I wish somebody put me on the board." I'm pretty sure that you went out and got involved with the community and said, "Hey, I'd love to represent," right?
Correct. I try to be involved in everything that I can be.
So if you had, so again, because again, you started at a really young age, but if you're talking to, and you probably are, because at any given time, we've got agents and clients that are out there that listen to the podcast. If you're talking to a young agent that's just getting started and they just don't know where to move the needle, right? What do I do first to get started?
It's all about communication and being consistent, making the connection and being consistent. It's very important.
And where would you go? So somebody said, hey, Michelle, you're going to start today and you clean slate. You've got no customers. You haven't sold any properties yet. Where do you get started with trying to build your portfolio?
You start with your circle of influence, who knows you. Pull up the phone, start texting, reaching out, letting everybody know that, you're a realtor, you in the industry. That's where, you got to make the connection with someone and they have to feel and trust you in order to be able to give you business.
Well, Dave, you talk about this all the time, at the end of the day, because, and Dave, you say this better than me, so I'm going to let you take the reins, but, we take it for granted, right? That everybody that we know just naturally knows what we do. But Dave, take it from here, brother.
Yeah. I love talking about this. I think it's our arrogance to people think just because we're on social media that everybody on social media knows exactly what we do. We all have a big phone list. It's just our arrogance. I say it all the time. Whatever position you're in or whatever, people are more involved in themselves. They're busy with their lives. So if you want to get your name out there, it's what Michelle just said. If you're new to real estate, the quickest way to generate your first sale is just go through your list, pick up the phone. Hey, this is David. How's it been going? Even though you haven't talked to him 5-10 years, it doesn't really matter. Hey, I just want to reach out and let you know that I'm now in real estate. If you need anything, buy, sell, or refinance, can you please think of me? I guarantee you by the time you get to the end of your list and you tell everybody that now you're in real estate, you're going to get a deal out of it.
I agree. I totally agree there.
Yeah, it's called your sphere of influence, right?
Exactly. But then when you pair that to having a great training, okay, your activity match the training, and then you're up there and you become successful. You have to have the drive that you already have. You already have to have the desire. And then, training, because one thing that I have to say, with all the success that she's explaining here to us, okay, and sharing with us, every time I have gone to the office where she has her license, to a training, she's always there. Every time that I have provided training to them online, even if it's a simple stuff, Michelle is there. And she has 3 kids. She's been very humble. So she shows commitment. And when you show commitment, results shows up. Okay?
Discipline, commitment, discipline, right? That's what creates success, and we talked about this earlier today, and it's, motivation comes and goes, right? And we can be motivated for an hour, for a day, maybe even for a month, right? But discipline, that's what's going to get you to the finish line. Having that discipline to say, hey, I'm going to go do this. Like you just said, Raphael, she's got 3 kids. And, there's a lot of things that she probably needs to be doing, but she also has the understanding that I got to support these 3 kids and make sure that they're taken care of. And I'm going to go do what it takes to make that happen. And if that means I'm going to show up for a training, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be for the training because you can count on me. Because let me tell you something, what I'm not going to do is put myself in a position where I can't support my kids. So if going to that training and learning that little piece of knowledge, which we all know knowledge is power, right? Is going to help you sell one more house a year, right? That makes it one step easier for your kids to have a better life. I promise you, Michelle's going to be there because you care about your family, you care about the people. And let's touch on that. So let's talk about Michelle. We talked about Michelle, the professional real estate agent. Let's talk about Michelle, the professional mother. What's that look like? How do you have a chance to, to do what you're doing out there in this industry and still support your family at home? What's that look like?
Well, my kids are grown now, so I do have more flexibility than when they were younger. I have a 22-year-old, a 17, and a 12. So they're at the age where they're, independent. They don't need me as much. So it's worked out for me.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that that they've got a lot of respect for what you do, because you've been creating success for them since they were young, and you've been utilizing it and fueling this business, to make that happen. So I'm pretty sure you're
I always like to
downplaying it.
Yeah, that's you come from a family of real estate people. Are any of your kids interested in joining Mama in real estate?
I have my oldest that actually just said to me, I need to start making money so that I can buy my first property. So
That's awesome.
her wheels are already turning, and she definitely wants to walk down the same path.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just a testament, to who you are and what you're doing. They're always watching from afar and saying, you know what? I want to do what Mom does. I want to walk that lifestyle. You've set the stage. So good for you. Well, as much as I know we'd love to keep you here all day, Michelle, we know you got a lot to do out there. What did we not tackle today that we should have?
I mean, I think we pretty much covered, everything, the most important points.
Well, I got to ask, and I know this, but we want to make sure that, our folks out there watching and listening in know how to get in touch with you. So you guys are located in Miami, Florida, and you're with the Tower Team Realty. Talk about that a little bit. So we know what markets you serve, but how do the folks out there get in front of you? And how do they get you on the phone if they need to talk to Michelle?
So I am on almost every single social media platform. I'm heavily on, trying to market as much as I can when I do have listings, when I have properties to sell. You can contact me on Instagram or email. It's the same information. It's Michelle Leon Realtor for Instagram, and Michelle Leon Realtor at Gmail for emailing. My telephone number is 786-444-8831.
There it is, guys. And if you're watching this, you saw that run right across the bottom of the screen. But if you're listening in, hey, make sure you run over to the description, and we're going to have all that information there. And you're going to want to reach out to Michelle, whether you're looking at buying your first property, raw land, condo, or your end goal, right? You've made it to the finish line. You want that beautiful masterpiece. Michelle's going to be there to serve you and make sure that you have a great experience. And she's going to utilize all of her experience to make your experience as amazing as it could possibly be. So, well, thank you for joining us today, Michelle. We truly appreciate having you on the show. Absolutely. Now, Raphael, brother, we know you're out there in that Florida marketplace as well. How do the folks find you, and what areas do you serve?
I serve the entire state of Florida and Texas, although I focus mainly in South Florida market. I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I like to sit down and meet with people when I can. So I try to focus on South Florida, from Orlando all the way down to Key West if I have to. So the best way is by phone, 786-333-2592. That's the best way. Text me, call me. And you can find me on social media. There's not many people with my name, Rafael Amaro, so it's easy. So if you want to actually go to my social media, is Mortgage Help. That's what it is. Okay? But Michelle, one thing that I want to say, if you have to start this business again today, how will you start? I know I wait too long.
I would probably do it the same way, because I'd be a lot better the second time around.
Like that response. Conviction.
That's it. Mr. Wynn, anything you'd like to say to our guests before we let them get out there saving one homeowner at a time?
Well, if you're looking in the Miami South Beach area all the way up to Boca and Palm Beach, these two is who I would be calling. Call Michelle as your realtor. Call Raphael as your mortgage lender. They got everything covered from, whatever you need in Miami real estate.
And I'll tell you what, they'll meet with you face to face. And, if you want to catch some good food, they happen to know some great spots out there in Miami as well. So make sure that you give them a call because you'll have a great experience. They're great, just awesome people. Again, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to break bread with us when we came out there to meet with everybody at the Tower Team office there in Miami last week. And I look forward to getting out there again and seeing you guys all again. So thank you for jumping on the show. They couldn't get enough. We couldn't get enough of you. We had to bring you back on.
Thank you.
And get one more experience back in. But, well, good stuff. Well, guys, we're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Wynn.
Hey, if you want to check us out, come over to realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Or if you want to catch us on video, and I think you need to meet Raphael and Michelle live and in person, come on over to YouTube. You can find us there at the Dubuc Team. Again, that's the Dubuc Team. We're also at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all at the Dubuc Team. And we'd love it if you guys make some comments. Hey, make sure you subscribe, and we appreciate those 5-star reviews. Until the next time, we'll see you then.